right? It seems we are live.
Yes. Should we wait a couple of maybe seconds,
Let's
1 to 2
wait
minutes?
50. Yeah, let's wait 30 seconds and then we can start. Hello, everyone who are joining in.
Welcome.
So we wait just like 10-15 seconds for everyone to join in and then we can get started.
Hello.
Hello.
Andrew G. Carr. Who else? Saying hello now.
All right, so we can start window. I think we are like almost 1 minute. So hello everyone. Welcome to today's live of One Shot Show. Today is the fifth episode of our One Shot Show, which we have been running for the past 5 weeks now. It's the first season, so total 8 episodes. Today's topic is a very interesting one. What we are going to do is we are going to talk about two of the rivals which are there right now, Claude Code and OpenClaw, and we are going to like walk you through basically what each one of them does. So we are going to answer one of the most important questions which are floating around. Did Anthropic kill OpenClaw with the new features that they have launched, especially like Claude Code channels? There have been like much more options now in Claude Code ecosystem in order to connect your projects or the chat using mobile, maybe messages, Telegram, or other means of mobile connectivity. So we are going to like talk about it. We are going to compare it with how OpenClaw still differs, where it still wins, where Claude Code channels wins, where you can use the dispatch of Claude Cowork. So we are going to like deep dive all into that in today's show. So Window, why not you like to add something and then we can get deep dive into it?
Sure, of course. Thanks, Dheeraj. Yeah. So I think like this is the hottest topic right now. Because like as you can see for the yesterday I posted like the whole Anthropic updates for the last quarter one of 2026, and we've been seeing like a lot of like Anthropic has been shipping more stuff for the last three months, and also like OpenClaw in some way also shipping more stuff, and they just acquired as well by OpenAI, and there is this kind of like a battle against each other, like which one should I choose, which one that actually suit how I work. So we are going to answer those questions. So by the end of these sessions, that you guys will be equipped with all of these options and framework which one to decide, and eventually, go all in on one thing, or like you can also choose both. Like I am doing right now, which is I'm using both, but it's kind of for different purpose. So before we going deep dive on this, I think let's talk through what are the open clause and some of like a quick overview between OpenClaw and Anthropic. So I
Right.
think yeah, I think like can I share my screen? I think I would
Yes,
just
Window. I
like
think let's go deeper into OpenClaw and have like
oh,
a
you are
refresher.
okay. Sorry,
No. I mean, like you
I
go
think
ahead. You go ahead and share your screen.
no. You already have the slide, I guess. So
Okay.
I think
Okay.
we can just use the slide. So
Okay.
just for quick refresher for OpenClaw right now, right? So what makes OpenClaw is, I think, powerful compared to Cloud right now. Maybe we can say like Cloud Code or maybe Cowork in general. But what makes it powerful is basically they have all of these files inside of their system that is easily customized by us, the users, right? So
Right.
they have this SOUL.md, user.md, identity, memory, heartbeat, and daily logs. So so basically what you can do based on these files, you can personalize your AI agent or like OpenClaw to become like specific to become like your assistant or like your chief of staff or like maybe also like your gym trainer. You can also do that as well. You can just personalize them with the solder MD to make sure like you can give them like personality and how we can work together with the AI agent. I think that's what makes like OpenClaw is way more I think towards kind of like closer to human in some regards. Uh, yeah, they have this personality that is not really built inside of Claude, which is Claude is
Right.
more like somehow maybe kind of like robotic somehow and less of personality. So I think that's why OpenClaw is really impactful. And then they also like have this memory MD built in. So whenever so what I do basically I have like a chief of staff in my Telegram, and whenever I report my task to do list for the day for at the end of the day, and then they can refer back those task lists like for from weeks ago, and then if I just talk it like what should I do today or like what should my priority for this week, then it can take from weeks ago what are the things that it needs to be considered for the analysis uh, before executing the output. So you can remember past projects or like past conversations and
Right.
bring out or like in some way kind of like emerging inside of your conversations. So I think that's kind of like lacking inside of the current Anthropic feature or like Claude Code. And I think this is one is so quiet impactful. They have this heartbeat. So heartbeat is somewhat is kind of like a automation that it can trigger automatically for like maybe you can set up like 30 minutes or like 1 hour or like
Right.
6 hour
Right.
where OpenClaw will monitor whatever it is that you want to request. Or for example, if you want to ask OpenClaw to monitor your email and find like any urgency for every 1 hour and then flag you with some kind of like things that you need to answer or like tasks that you need to complete
Right.
on that period of time, then you can do it with Heartbeat. So Heartbeat is kind of like a monitoring system in some way that you can trigger to OpenClaw and then it will monitor and then come back to you. So for example, I do this with my chief of staff and then it will kind of like monitor my Notion to-do list. So whenever I have like a to-do list that I put inside of my Notion, then I will create another PIC for my chief of staff. And then this chief of staff like will monitor to my Notion every 2 a.m. in the morning. So
Okay.
every 2 a.m., then it will just monitor my Notion and see where where it becomes like the PIC of that task, and then and then execute the request based on the details of that task, and give me comments or like update the Google Docs or like Google Slide, and update me uh, the whole projects where it is right now. The
Right. So it's
kind of like the whole progress.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
basically like more or less autonomously working for you, especially with the help of this
Yes.
heartbeat feature. It just keeps on checking, has the memory, knows about you, and you can basically build more like a personality in parallel that you want to run, or maybe like you can call them AI employees, you can call them any kind of
Exactly.
AI agents that are running and doing the work for you autonomously, right? You are not like involved or reactively doing it. And I think like that's where
Yes.
I would say the features that are there from the Claude side of things, they are a little different as we talk about more like the philosophy. I think slowly and gradually they are getting over there. I mean, like I have this diagram where I try to show how many types of access methods Anthropic has released since the launch of OpenClaw, right? Since the success OpenClaw project got, I think like the major challenge with Claude Code was or Claude Cowork was that how can we activate, how can we work still on the go, right, on mobile. So I think they started adding all these features, started with like remote control or dispatch, right? Dispatch is more from the perspective that you want to have your Claude app and Cowork, you connecting Cowork remotely. Remote control lets you again take control of the session which you have already started in Claude Code through the mobile app of Claude, right? So these are not independent, these are more like you need the Claude app so that that interface can be maintained, right? And then there is a pairing mechanism, like once you pair your phone or the app, then you are able to securely connect your ecosystem or the projects that you are running. However, recently they released this channels, which is more being talked about as like a competitor to OpenClaw. But I was reading one of their engineers blog as well, that where he mentioned out or detailed out that they are kind of releasing all these access methods so that we can choose what applies to us in different situations and work towards it. So the recently one, this channels feature, how it works is like I think like I had a diagram. Yeah. So over here, like for example, the it works with chat platforms as well as the webhooks, right? So you can create your webhooks. So what it does is it creates, instead of Claude app being acting as a bridge between your projects and the mobile device, like which is paired, which is like more of a philosophy with the remote control and the dispatch feature. This particular thing is, or channels feature is more dependent upon an MCP. So where you can already install like Telegram and Discord MCP for channels on your system. Once you have configured that, you can connect Telegram as well as Discord. And I think recently they have released the iMessage features as well. So it polls over here with the MCP server, but you can go beyond. That's where you get into the realm of the OpenClaw, where you can have, for example, webhooks being also exposed through a custom MCP, right? And then you can, for example, start monitoring your GitHub or CI/CD pipelines or any type of event that is happening outside that you can post over there on that MCP server. And then you would have a connection to your Claude Code project that you have opened. And then you can start messaging over here. So just to show you like a quick demo of how it works. So if let's suppose, let me.
I have one question, Dheeraj.
Mhm.
Uh, how hard it is to connect with the Telegram through Cloud Code compared
Yes.
to like OpenClaw, right? Because OpenClaw is so easy. Like you can do this onboarding setup, and then eventually it will connect through your Telegram bot, and directly you can chat through there, right? But
Right. So
but what about the process of Cloud Code itself?
let me talk about that window as well, and then like basically I'll just set it up in a way that you can see both the windows working together. So on the left, I'm currently in like one of the projects that I have, right, of Claude Code, right? So all I have to do
Okay,
is basically start this command. So I have to start Claude with dash dash channels, and you can see that what I have
okay,
done is installed a plugin, right? So plugin Telegram
hmm,
@ Claude plugins official. So how to set it up? What you can do is you can go to like plugins, right, over here,
hmm,
right? You go to plugins and you go to like the marketplace. You will find the plugin, which is basically right now what I have installed is over here. You would see that I have installed like Discord plugin. So this plugin is already
right,
available for you, right? So you can install the Discord one, and then I at the bottom I may have like a Telegram one as well. So once you install like
right,
these two plugins, that's pretty much it. What you have to do? I think like there is a prerequisite of installing Bun as well. Bun as a utility that allows you for the STDIO connection, because that's what is needed in order to do that. So once you have that installed, that's pretty much it. Then what you have to do is start your Claude with this command that I just started with,
hmm,
dash dash channels,
hmm,
and then what plugin you want. So basically, I'm starting with this plugin, but you can have like multiple plugins enabled. So if I wanted connectivity with iMessage or Discord as well, I can like comma separate them and then start it using that. Then this project is now connected to all these communication channels. So it's a pretty straightforward process, takes like hardly 5 minutes to set it up. There is no setup required now. You do not need to set up any kind of like infrastructure, or you do not need to set up any like sort of like a server, especially like to harden the security or isolate the security aspect of it. And we are like going to talk about that as well in detail, like how hard the configuration is, how the security works. But like the moment I'm logged in over here, so now this is my connected over here. So uh, what it also does is that over here you can see what I did earlier. You have to create a bot, right? So you come to bot father, you start your create your bot. Once the bot is created, the beauty is that as soon as you start it, this bot Telegram to Claude Code session, right? So you can see the pairing is happening. So here you can pair this particular bot with my Claude Code session, right? So now once this is
hmm,
paired, this is your security aspect. Right now I have like a one-to-one connection over here. I don't want like a I would say a chat group to be allowed over here. So I have only allowed this. And then at times, what I have seen is that it would start asking me permissions. Like, for example, you can see here it is asking me MCP plugin permission. I allowed it in this. It does not provide full context of what permission it is asking. But like once you have this set up, few messages sent through your system, then like it continues. So if I ask, like, for example, what can you do for me in this project? So you can see that this window got the message here. So Telegram, this,
Yeah.
what you can, and then now it is going to run. So Claude Code is running on my machine. I could be using my phone as well, right? Right now I'm using this app, but here you can see that, this is the project for my blog, content pipeline, research, SEO, site management, planning. And then like I can start asking, did you, what happened to yesterday's job? So now
Just
it
want to
knows.
make just want to clarify that we can talk to Claude as long as the session is open, right, on the computer.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
yeah, the
So
session
this
need to be live and open inside of the inside of our desktop or like computer.
right, right. So you cannot like I would say that this needs to be kept open. So your system should be running.
Right,
So that's like one of the requirements of Cloud Code channel setup.
right.
What you can also do over here window is that you can basically, for example, right now I am seeing this, right? The main
Hmm.
requirement will always be there that your system should be up and running, right? So then only like it
Right.
is going to work. I think it can go into more like the monitor can shut down or like the display can shut down, but system
Right.
should not
Right.
go into the sleep mode where it is not able to respond to the events, right? Uh, but what you can do is you do not need this window. You can like there is this utility called tmux. You can deattach this command line to tmux, and tmux runs in the background. So you don't need like a command line window over here. You can attach to a tmux session and then just forget about it that you have attached a particular project. But clearly you can see
I
over here
see.
it clearly states that this carries the prompt injection risk, right? So you have now connected your project, and the way it works is that you need to have different windows connected to different bots, right? For different projects that you
Mhm.
have. If you connect like at the
Right.
highest level, then you are going to pollute the context so much. I mean, it is going to work for you, but then you are going to pollute the context so much that I have not seen like whether the effective context management will happen over there or not. It might start getting confused between like, different types of projects. Uh, so that's why like that's one limitation that I see, because you are the one setting it up over here and making these channels open selectively, right? Whereas in OpenClaw you have everything defined in like a more like a config file, and then you are
Yeah.
operating from on top of it. They have this framework now that you as a AI engineer or AI architect or AI expert can expand and make it almost work like OpenClaw, but then you would need like some work to be done. However, like I said, like starting it up, configuring it is just like very smooth. I have set up the whole OpenClaw instance. You have set up the whole OpenClaw instance. If you have to do that, how much pain we have to go through, we know that, right? And there is a struggle
Yeah.
over there as well in the initial setup of
I
it.
think yeah, yeah. I think looking at this like Cloud Code is way easier because like we've been using Cloud Code, right? And it's just easier. Like you can just connect through MCP and then trigger the terminal command.
Right, right,
While if you use OpenClaw, then you need to buy Mac Mini or like open like a VPS server, and then you need to run through the onboarding process, like and connecting your Anthropic subscriptions, and then selecting some of like option list before you actually can connect to Telegram and directly chat with the OpenClaw. I think in this way, like Cloud Code is way simpler, even though the limitation is more towards like your session has to be live, but you can also tackle it with the tmux thing, so it can
right,
run on the background.
right,
So
right.
I guess
And
somewhat. it should be, yeah,
Right. And I think like one requirement or one limitation that, all of you who are listening may be having in your mind that, hey, I have to like keep my system open, right? But then like that's the
right,
same requirement for OpenClaw as well. But because you are deploying OpenClaw in cloud or maybe a dedicated machine, you can do the same thing with this, Claude Code channels as well. Especially like when you are logged in into Claude Code ecosystem or you are like very much using Claude Code ecosystem, it does the job for me like, 90% of the time. Like unless like over here we can see, the main philosophies are like the channel is more like event driven, where you are kind of talking to it or some kind of event is firing, like maybe in your um, projects or maybe like externally on your website, or if you are into development, code development, maybe CI/CD pipelines, which is like triggering some action, and then your project can act on it if you have configured that MCP for custom MCP for your Cloud Code project, right? But OpenClaw is more self-driven, as you were mentioning, window, right? It's like more autonomous. It runs with the help of its
yeah.
heartbeat,
It's
proactively working towards
yeah,
it.
it's kind of wild west for me, like for OpenClaw. I think that's why people got addicted to OpenClaw, I guess, because like yeah, these wild things that you can do and then can do so much stuff. Where some way Cloud Code is more like kind of contained with the Anthropic capabilities, I guess.
Right. Right.
Uh, so yeah, yeah, but also like it comes with the race as well, right? So that's why OpenClaw can be somewhat powerful, but also risky for a lot of use cases that
Right.
people don't want to touch.
Right. And that's why we were seeing, these, I would say, managed instances have started coming up of OpenClaw, where people can just subscribe to the managed instance and just feel that it's more secure, right? But you still need to go through that
Right?
business account thing and all that, right? All those security
Yeah, yeah,
precautions you would have to take. And I mean, I have like a
yeah.
dedicated slide towards the end, we can talk about that. So these were like some of the 8 category audits that we generally do, right, window? So I mean, we already
Yes.
touched upon the setup time aspect of it, and I think like we both can agree that OpenClaw is going to take like good amount of time if you have to carefully set it up, like right from all the perspectives, right? And still, like once you have set it up, the prompt injection issue, that the warning that even Claude Code channels was showing up right in the window itself, right? They It's like identical. Like there is no difference between those two things. That's what I would say. So for me, like setup time for
Yeah.
channels is like it's nothing. Like it's like hardly like I would say less than 30 minutes if you're doing it like for the very first time. If you already have Claude Code set up on your system, I think the only thing that you have to install is Bun, and that's pretty much it. So once you have those things set up, you just install the plugin through the UI and get up and running in less than 30 minutes. But OpenClaw, I doubt that that's going to be the case, especially like if you are doing it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
probably I'll say
I
like
think I would
two.
say yeah, I think two, somewhat three, maybe two. Yeah, I think we can go to. It's just so hard. Like it's not like
Yeah.
for non-techie people. So I guess yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. I would say too, like
yeah, yeah.
because I remember like last month I had set it up just to like start last month, I think in February I started setting up OpenClaw. I took almost like I had to do it like on 2 days, just to like get everything to my satisfaction
I
or whatever research I did.
okay. I it took me like I think 3 hours to get it
Okay,
like running full running. But that's not also like accounting from the first server that I tried to use, which like fail, and then I moved to another server, and then
right,
yeah, and then it worked, but it took me like a few hours to do it.
right, right. Okay, so let's keep it to, so where it runs, laptop, server, cloud. I mean, both. I think I would say there could be like a tie, because OpenClaw definitely you would want to be running outside your system. I can still run Claude Code on my system because I know the pairing that it has done at least, unless like someone gets access to my Telegram, or unless someone gets access to my phone. I think like I'm pretty okay where it runs perspective. But OpenClaw running on my machine, uh, still like I would say that I don't know, because it is
That,
always
that
up and running openly, um, because of that gateway that installs. I don't
yeah.
know, like as a non-techie user, I would be more comfortable putting it on my system or not.
Hmm. Yeah, I think for like Cloud Code is more like, yeah, I think runs on personal laptop, but OpenClaw I think is way better if you run it on cloud. I guess even though some people would prefer on Mac Mini, but I think for the most of people, like if you want to save cost, then I guess like running on cloud would be better.
Right, right. I mean, otherwise you would end up paying for the Mac Mini as well, right? So I think let's keep it 4:3 or 4:2.
Yeah, 4 to 3 is fine.
On the trigger side of it, so it's like I think maybe like, for me personally, it's like a tie. It depends upon like what type of model that you want. In some cases I would want like event driven functionality to be there, and also I would want like my own control, but then like I can achieve that through OpenClaw as well. So I think there is an edge over there for OpenClaw than channels,
Yeah,
because I think OpenClaw
agree.
is proactive, as well as you can set it up to be reactive as well, while channels will always be
Yeah.
like
The heartbeat is second to none for me. I think that's like the most powerful thing, I guess, with the heartbeat. And also like they can also do this cron job as well, right? So it's
yeah,
easier for you to basically set up automation. Hey, can you look at my email every 3 hours or like every
right,
6 p.m. and summarize it for me, everything, right? So
right,
it's way easier just to talk to it with OpenClaw, and then in some ways kind of, yeah, like Cloud
yeah.
Code or like channels are not built for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say like for the looping part or the or the cron job part, they would have like another thing which is like scheduled task over here, right? So they build like
Right.
another mechanism. So you would, in the Anthropic ecosystem, you would need to use that instead of like something around channels for it. But so I mean like, OpenClaw is like one stop shop. But then like if you look at the Anthropic ecosystem, then yes, it has a feature now, and it is, I think,
Yeah.
growing towards it. But for now,
Yeah.
channels could be like three because it's mostly reactive.
Yeah. I think because of schedule tasks, I guess they can go, channels can go three right now. But if they don't have like schedule tasks, it's basically they can
Yeah,
go either one or two.
right.
But yeah, yeah, it feels to me like the current limitation is just like you need to make sure your computer is running. But I guess like somehow if they can figure out like it should be running automatically on cloud,
Hmm.
then that's like a total win for Anthropic, I guess.
Right, right. I think project context, I mean, it's more like a tie. I would say like they both know the project context. Depends upon like how you configure it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
the code base both can know, right? It depends like, how you want to configure it.
Should should we also take into account of their memory, because in some way the project context, yeah, is basically depend on your folder structure, your Claude MD or like your agent MD file,
Hmm, hmm.
while in some way OpenClaw has like the memory system. I think that also like give them some kind of like edge
Edge,
where they can
because
read.
they
Yeah.
have more, they know more about it. That's what
Yeah,
you're trying to
they know more and can refer to the past conversations.
can refer
I,
to the past
in the
conversations too, right?
Yeah.
And if you have to
Yeah.
set up the similar thing in Claude, then you have to do more work, right? It does not come out of the
More
box.
work.
Like
Yeah.
you have to
Yes.
manually work towards it. So maybe like, 4:5,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, 4 to 5. Yeah, I think is one of thing is because OpenClaw has the RAG system built in already, right? So I think that's like what
Right,
makes their memory
right.
works better compared to Claude. So I guess, yeah,
Mm,
I think I would say
yeah,
4 5
yeah.
would be
And
uh suitable.
And it's not a window like you cannot achieve it in Claude Code. It's just like more work, I would say. You can achieve
Yeah,
the same thing.
more work.
Yeah. So, but you
Yes.
have to do some more
Yep.
work that comes like out of the box over here. Right.
Right.
Platform reach, of
Correct.
course, like OpenClaw is definitely going to win here because I would say like right now, I mean,
Yeah.
I can argue here, but like still, I would say like 3 or 4. Why 4? Because of the
Yeah.
custom thing. Because you can configure, custom events, custom MCPs as per your needs. You
Yeah.
can put them into single
Yeah.
channel. So the beauty I liked
Yeah.
about it is like you can have like a two-way communication between the
Yeah.
things, or you can have like a single way communication. So that ways you are in more control over here. If you have to do it in OpenClaw,
Y-
probably I think you have to use the code base and customize all that into it. I don't know like whether there is like a direct configuration or not. I have not like done that deeper of a thing. But here,
I
but still like the much more platform number of platforms are supported by OpenClaw.
Yeah, one thing that still feel wild to me back then when when I started OpenClaw was like it's way easier to connect to my Todoist account or like Notion account or like Obsidian or any other tools like because I just simply ask like hey, can I connect to my Todoist, and then it will ask me back what's your API token, can you give me your API
Right,
token, and
right,
then I took my API token and give it to OpenClaw, and then boom, like I can connect to my
right,
Todoist and see
right,
all of my list, right? That
right.
also happened with Notion, and as well, like it somehow it can read the files, and I think somehow it's already built in of their
Too easily.
knowledge. So
Right.
yeah, so when you ask like certain apps to connect, it's way easier for OpenClaw to direct you and help you to connect it. While Claude Code, I think is way you still need to give the
Right, right.
documentation. So let's say if you want to connect with Notion, then you need to open the docs or like give their API and secret key. So,
Mhm.
but it's not like it's not coming from the place of natural thing that
Right.
OpenClaw has. So I think that's kind of like the biggest gap between platform reach or like platform connection between
Yeah,
Cloud
it makes it
and
easy. That
OpenClaw.
yeah, that
Yeah,
that that
it makes it
I
easy.
agree. I agree. I agree. I mean, and in
Yeah.
Claude ecosystem, you have to tell it that I have to do it. It will figure it out by doing search or something
Yes.
and help you out as
Yes,
well.
it can figure
But
it.
like there is like couple
Yeah,
of more prompts in between that you have to tell it.
correct, correct.
Okay, so
Yes,
let's keep
yes,
it like
please.
3:5 then. Then on the
Yeah.
security posture side, right, and the overall default posture and the attack surface, I think like I already had a deep dive on the security part of it, and this is what and I think Toxic Chris from Toxic, I had a detailed discussion about him around the security part of it, like what kind of Claude ecosystem brings, like what the strengths are. For example, read only defaults, allowed list that I was talking, that you can only allowed a particular sender and then only. And then you have like Anthropic reviewed plugin allow list, SOC 2, type 2, all this certification comes through the Claude Eco or Anthropic. No server deployment needed, like you can use it inside. But then like some of the enterprise grade things, more on the perspective of there is no audit trail. If you want to go ahead and do an audit trail of how the access is being granted, how the events are being executed, again, permissions are inherited. But I think like more of these are similar to what OpenClaw would also offer. However, in OpenClaw, what we can see is like you have strengths on the self-hosted part perspective, that you control your environment. So basically, the data
Yeah.
boundary lies with you, whereas the data boundary lies with the Cloud ecosystem here. But that's, we are already given a lot to Cloud, so I don't know like whether that's a big deal or not. At least for me. Then
Yeah.
Docker container isolation you can have here. Here you don't.
Yeah. There is one thing that also kind of concerning with OpenClaw. So they have this issue with skills, right? That skill turns out there are like malicious software there
Right. Right.
because the problem with skill is so OpenClaw has like their community skills hub
Right.
where somehow you can connect with multiple like you can install skills from community that
Right.
already built in. But the problem is like there is no process, I guess, inside of an OpenClaw team to basically like filter out which are like the skills with more
Safe.
secure way, I guess.
Right. Right.
Safe, right?
So it
So yeah, that's why I feel like there are multiple cases that had happened in the past that some skills turns out there are some like leak somewhere or like
right.
insecure turns out. Yeah,
Right. And I think like in the Claude ecosystem, that is not going to happen because this is going to go through unless you go and download
yeah.
something
Unless
that
you
is
don't
there, or
manually. Yeah,
you
yeah,
you create
yeah,
your own custom one and you are using that. But more or less, some of
yeah,
the plugins or majority of plugins would be sourced through the Anthropic marketplace that will be like more or less reviewed. That's what we can assume, right? And much more safer than the open source community. But still, like you as a user, I can go ahead and download any skill or plugin or you
yeah,
know MCP
y-
server from anybody's in the open source, and then I can use it. It could have
yeah,
like malicious intent that could cause
yeah,
vulnerabilities. And then like at the bottom there were like some shared ones like prompt injection, inherited permission. So all this like stays for both of them. So in general, I would say still feel much safer because like the uh, chances of getting Anthropic hacked versus OpenClaw hacked ecosystem is to me like higher, like on the OpenClaw side,
yeah,
and plus
yeah.
a lot of onus falls on the person who is configuring the OpenClaw, right? What type of
Right.
security boundaries you have implemented. If it is like plain
Yeah,
vanilla deployment, then you are right away in trouble, right? If you are plain vanilla deployment of OpenClaw, you are not creating those 5 layer, 7 layer, 3 layer. What we call, like you have also covered in one of your articles, the 3 layers of security. Chris also covered in one
right.
of his article like a very comprehensive, I think 40-point checklist. So unless you are not aware, security is going to be a trouble. Where I feel like more secure and more controlled as well, because for example, the channel that I opened right now is only for a particular project, right? So at max what
Right.
would happen, that project is going to like go away or maybe something like that, right? I mean, I'm not an expert, but maybe like if it gets the access to that project, maybe it gets the access to the entire set of system that I have over here. But still, I would feel more secure because unless I think like unless my phone is hacked or my phone is open without any passcode, somebody access it, somebody goes into Telegram. Till that, it's all like okay. From the security model, let's keep it like 4:2, I would say here, or maybe like three
Yeah,
is
yeah,
to two.
yeah. Agree. I think four two. I,
Okay.
I would. Yeah, I think I would say four two.
Now comes the best part, which is the cost, right?
Yeah,
So
this is this is
yeah,
kind of hot topic right now for the cost.
right.
Let's dive in because
Yes.
we have so much stuff to do.
Yeah. So for the cost side, I think recently there was a news like last week itself that Claude
Yeah,
or Anthropic has banned the harness of OpenClaw through their
yeah,
subscription, right? So if that is
yeah.
banned, then the problem comes that now you have to use Anthropic's LLM's API,
X
right? And that
API X.
API
Yes, like you
is
said.
like very, very costly when you compare to
Yeah,
subscription. It's like, I
yeah,
mean, like it's like it burns through in seconds, right? You burn like every
yeah,
dollar as you use API in like few seconds. That's what like my experience has been. That's why I opted for like max plan, and I use that in many of the applications through subscription. But now that they have banned,
yeah.
a lot of things have changed, especially in terms of cost. On the other hand, window, I would say that if I have to have an open claw for very basic tasks, let's suppose, right? Some basic tasks are there, email scanning, I can also use some open source free models, right? Which is not the
Right.
case with channels or Claude Code. I'll have to have some sort of subscription, either pro or max. Unless I don't have it, I'm not able to use it. So at least there is minimal
Y-
$20 to $100 investment on the Claude side of things. But on the open Claude side of
Yeah.
things,
We
I yeah, so yeah, that's what my take would be.
no. Yeah, yeah. Which is like, so basically, if you already have subscription for Claude, let's say you are on Max Plan, right? So if you still using OpenClaw, then there should be additional on top of your
Right.
subscription cost for paying for API. So that's
Right.
the thing that you need to consider. And then if you want to go like a local LLM or like open source like Kimi. I think most people also try to use a Kimi. Yeah, you
Right.
can also do it, but it's not like as powerful as Opus 4.6.
Of course.
And
Of course.
the reason like the reason like OpenClaw has been kind of rising because it's kind of coupled with Opus,
Right.
and that's why like you can do so much thing, or like you can run more autonomously with long running tasks with Opus 4.6. And the problem is it's not what happening with codex right now. So if people try to move away from Claude, or like not, they don't want to pay for the API, then the option is whether it is Kimi or like whether it is codex, right? And codex is not like a typical agent for doing
Right.
while running tasks. It's not like Opus
Right.
somehow. Codex is much more like obedient
Right.
in some regards, and it can do like a very detailed task, but it's not like like a wild thing like
Yes.
Opus actually
Focus.
do. So
Yeah.
I think it's somewhat. I feel like if you don't use Opus, or like if you don't use Anthropic, somewhat OpenClaw losing its own. I don't know. I feel like its own magic,
Right. Right.
but it's all magic. But yeah, Codex couldn't solve it. But I guess I can. I think in the future, I would bet that OpenAI should improve Codex to be more relevant with OpenClaw. So I guess like if you want to run OpenClaw, ideally you will have to integrate with Codex. That's
Right.
a better approach I'm
And
kind of
some
seeing
local monitoring
with
and
with
some
the acquisition. Yeah, some
right.
local models.
Right.
That's what I'm seeing with this acquisition that had happened for OpenAI
Right.
to OpenClaw.
Right.
So ideally, OpenClaw go with Codex, and Anthropic go with their own thing
Ecosystem.
version of OpenClaw.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. So I think like, and when you include, hardware cost, server cost, the OpenClaw cost is gonna go rise. And if you are not careful
yeah.
over there,
Crazy.
then I mean,
Yeah,
we have seen horror stories where like, people have gone almost $800 of bill like in no time using OpenClaw instances in API calls, right? If there is no monitoring in
yeah,
place, though no alerting in place, no limitations, cutoff. So all that then falls on the onus of the person like who is using, and then like it's no longer like for someone who is non-technical because you have to manage all these things. So for me, then like, cost could be a real barrier. And if I own like $100 plan of Max on Claude Code, pretty much I can just live with that, right? And use.
yeah. Me too.
I know like it's not like a ideal way or the reactive or proactive
Yeah,
monitoring there, but I can live with that limitation until Claude releases something to take care of that.
yeah,
I'm sure like in time to come, as they have released, 5 types of
yeah,
connectivity things, they are like gonna release something to solve that as well. Or otherwise I can
yeah,
spend like a weekend and build for myself like how to, kind of proactively monitor. So that's something
yeah,
on me as an owner. And I think like last one is like always on. Here I think OpenClaw would definitely win because it's like always on,
yeah,
whereas this is like by design, I would say channels are not that. But again, you can keep it always on as well using tmux that can be deattached to your of course like system needs to be on for tmux as well. But
yeah,
at least get rid of that terminal window that you don't need to take care that you accidentally close, right? So that ways I think it's still pretty close. Like if we talk in terms of numbers that we have given to both of them, 31 is to 30. But
yeah,
I think like there is some judgment that is also required. I would say like if I am like just a Claude Code person or Anthropic person uses mostly Anthropic side of things these days, then I would like to prefer staying. Plus, I don't need to invest into like any kind of hardware unless I need some sort of like proactive monitoring, for which like either
yeah,
I can go on Hetzner Cloud with like a $4, $5 system over there in cloud, but then like the whole setup cost, maintenance, monitoring, I have to own that. So I
yeah.
think same job, two philosophies. That's what we come down to.
Yeah, I think looking at the scores are really like Cloud Code is more like in average in some across the variables or like the parameters. While OpenClaw somewhat it is really great at something, but also like really bad at something. So it's
Right.
more yeah, it's kind of like a two
Right.
ways of spectrum.
Right.
But yeah, I think yeah, I think so far my setup is more using Cloud Code, while I use like OpenClaw somewhat is just for like monitoring or like simple automation. Is not like really complex or
Mhm.
I see some people actually like build like a 24/7 AI engineer where the AI running I think the whole night for monitoring the GitHub and executing
Right.
PR and other stuff.
Right.
So I don't go towards the direction because I feel like it's not really secure and I don't trust agents to do it for me. So
Right.
I would just simple do stuff like monitoring my Notion, check my email, and those kind of like simple
Mhm.
tasks instead of like going while executing code or like reaching out to people, those kind of stuff. So yeah,
Yep.
I think keep it simple and running everything on Cloud Code.
Right. So I think this is what it boils down to, like event driven plus context aware, and here it's like cell driven and autonomous on the OpenClaw side.
Yes.
Right. So
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
I would say like three workflows people are building right now: CI/CD, triage bot. This is where I would say channels win because there's like the GitHub actions can just post to the channel endpoint, and then Claude Code can take care of it and merge the PR back in. Morning content brief, you can like implement both over there, but one way would
Yeah.
be like a reactive way. Other way would like you would ask what is my morning brief in like a message. And one thing I also notice is like if you are using a messaging app, you cannot like literally use like the voice. You cannot send a voice message unless you implement something in between to interject that voice message and transcribe and send it to channels, and then it will respond. So right now the voice is not supported in it, so you have to like type it in or use like Whisperflow or something to have the text message that gets sent. But again, reactive. And finally, image triage box that decides what matters. So this is more like your use case as well, where you are monitoring and then like
Yeah.
you are getting alerts as well, like on what is happening with your
Yeah.
day,
This
the
is
sprint, the work. So that's where like OpenClaw
yeah.
wins.
Yeah. 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 This is where OpenClaw win, I guess. Is yeah, their monitoring system is really good.
Right. So I think like this one we had it like what to build this weekend. You want AI to react to events with full project context and use channels. I mean, you want something to basically agent to discover and autonomously run continuously. Scan your inbox. That's where OpenClaw comes in with the caveat that you are technical enough to set it up correctly in cloud. Right. So that ways
Yeah.
that's final takeaway from today's lesson that OpenClaw decides and channels more or less react. Again, the question that
Y-
we started with, whether it killed it or not, probably not a kill, but more like a split, and
Not it.
depends upon
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really easy to say like whether Anthropic killed it or not, but I guess like it's not. I mean, like there's so much things that will be revealed later on. I mean, like OpenAI bought acquired
right.
OpenClaw not for like simple things. So I guess they will be evolving OpenClaw into something more agentic. So I guess like there should be integration with code that's more naturally there. I guess, and given they just been banned by Anthropic, right? So I think
Right.
there should
Right.
be yeah, there should be like
Us-
a thing that OpenAI need to do with this.
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Like both the ecosystems would evolve, and ultimately, like what boils down to whom people are going to like stay with that. That's what at the end I feel like. So again, I think all these terms that comes like did OpenAI killed Claw, or like did OpenClaw killed Claude earlier? That was the statement. There were statements of did Claude just killed N10? We talked about it in our last lesson, or last I would say
Right.
show episode as well, where we deep dive into why N10 can still exist, right? It's not just like OpenClaw Claude Code that you can use. Claude Code can be there, but Claude Code can assist you in create and workflows. So I think like all these statement comes in
Yes.
for the virality aspect of it. But at the end of the
Exactly.
day, it's more like what is helpful to you as a user, as a business,
Yeah.
and what comfort levels you have in terms of technicalities, non technicalities. The cost factor is also there, the open source factor is also there, whether you want to lock in yourself to Claude ecosystem or Anthropic ecosystem, whether you want to like stay independent of it, then OpenClaw is the only answer right now for you. But then like you have a trade off of setting it up and doing things, right? So these were some of the questions that I had got in the past. Should I cancel my Hetzner OpenClaw setup? Again, it depends upon the workflow. WhatsApp for channels. Right now, it's not there. They have introduced the iMessage, but as far as I know, right now WhatsApp is not there. Again, we talked about is OpenClaw dead. API key auth. Now it won't work, right? So you need to channels can run 24/7 via tmux. Yes, we talked about that as well, but then system needs to be open. So or Cloud Code needs to be set up on your machine. So so yeah, I mean, like that's pretty much it that we wanted to cover today. So, what are some of the closing thoughts,
Yeah.
or if anyone has any questions, can say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone has any questions? Just let us know. I think there are few like few few questions. I think we tackle like how to
Mhm.
safely run the OpenClaw. I guess I have a post in the past for that.
Yeah, we can drop the links.
If
I will try.
if
I
we
think.
Yeah, if we only have like time for one, which would you recommend for non-coders? I would go for Cloud Code every
Same
time.
here. Right, right.
Yeah,
Same here. And I think like some of the questions did Anthropic ban use of
but
OpenClaw with Cloud
but
Code
also
recently?
yeah, but also I just want to say something as well, add something, because like all of these, I think it seems like OpenClaw become like a hit. You can see like most AI labs or like most AI companies are going towards that direction. So as
Hmm.
you can see, Perplexity launched Perplexity Computer.
Right,
Manus now, you can connect agent Manus agent on your Telegram, and you can do so much thing as well as what OpenClaw offers. So and also like yeah, so there are like more options for us to choose now rather than sacrificing our security using OpenClaw. So you can go with Perplexity Computer. So that's another thing that you can test because like they have this, they can connect to multiple AI models. So whether
right,
it is Gemini, Codex, Opus, or any other models, so they can orchestrate multiple agents, multiple AI models at the same time. So I think that's quite powerful for Perplexity Computer. And I recently saw like they have like this revenue jump for after they launched the
right. Right. Computer.
computer. So I guess that's totally makes sense for computer, and I can see like it is so powerful as well. And but maybe one thing to consider is basically the cost
Think
will
for it.
be different as
Right.
yeah, it will be different as compared to use like Cloud Code or OpenClaw, I guess. So because like yeah, it will eat your token or like API, and then yeah, it's kind of pricey because it can connect to multiple AI models. And yeah, Manus as well, another option that you can choose. But yeah, I think the I think the question is like which is the which one that you should choose, and the answer is you need to figure out yourself. I guess for this, because each of these tools have like multiple capabilities. But for like I think for general stuff or like for typical work, I would choose Cloud Code. But
Yep.
if you want to go more like towards open close direction, I think Perplexity Computer is a good choice to try. I've tried it. I can see this is a good thing because they have also integrated with multiple apps. So it's not like the agent connected, but you can basically see that Perplexity have a partner with all of these apps. So it's way easier for you to connect with using Perplexity Computer.
Yep.
rather than using OpenClaw wild agents.
Maybe a deep dive window
So
on perplexity in the show
we
in
will,
time to come.
yeah,
Yeah. So I
we'll
think,
do that for
yeah.
Perplexity and Manus.
Right. So some of the questions, I think Robert, I can see Robert's question for a newbie exec like me working in terminal feels like going back into the dark ages. Yeah, it depends, Robert, from person to person. I feel like I'm living my dream, working in a terminal.
Exactly same,
Uh,
the
and
same.
it's more like I always wanted to work in a terminal. Feel like
Yeah,
that. So it gives you power. There is nothing coding there.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
if you want to like use the Claude's app, you feel free to use that as well. They have released, I think like Ultra Plan as well now. So in the Ultra Plan feature, you can like just tag any part of your plan. So they are improving a lot in the editor as well that is there, or the Claude app that is there. So you can use Claude app instead of terminal. But I feel like more powerful in the terminal. So somehow,
yeah.
so
I feel
stay
yeah, the same. I
connected.
mean, like, yeah, it looks like a old thing or a caveman. Like you work in terminal, but somehow like that's where the future is happening.
Right.
Now you can do so much thing in the terminal, but yeah, you don't have to go to that way. You can use the Claude Code extension on Cursor or VS Code, and it doesn't feel like really terminal thing. So because like they have this good UI that you can follow,
Right.
so
Right.
that's another alternative that you can use. But if you want to check, then you can also pursue Perplexity Computer or Manus. But again, I think like because of all of this is kind of the issue is that I have with all of this because like it's kind of rapper in some way, like Manus and Perplexity is kind of rapper. So I'm not sure like how wild or like how powerful they can be if you use the raw models directly to Anthropic or Codex or OpenAI, right?
Right. Right.
So
I think
yeah,
like the
that's
problem will always be if Anthropic keeps on banning the harness facility of their
yeah,
subscription, then like you would
yeah,
end up paying a lot in terms of API fee that you can get
yeah,
the same job done in the Anthropic world unless you are like
yeah,
having some sort of constraint compliance issue, not basically using the Anthropic side of things. That's the only thing that I see because they are rapidly growing and releasing features. You already published with Ilya that how many releases that
yeah,
they
yeah.
provided in last I think like
That's
50
crazy.
days or 2 months or so. So again, so they keep on improving. All these five features are there. Tomorrow, like everything will be seamless. Who knows? So somebody asked like one thing that you should stick to if you are already in Anthropic world and you are a non-technical person, right, who do not uh, fully understand the implications of how to set up a server properly. Of course, Cloud Code can help you set that up, manage, maintain everything, but still like there will be some effort in doing that too. So stick to the Anthropic side of it. Use channels, use dispatch if you are like into the Claude Cowork side of things. You are not using Claude Code, you are using Claude Cowork. Then use dispatch with it. Use schedule tasks in order to schedule your tasks. So there are various ways of doing Claude Code, say achieving the same thing that you can do with OpenClaw using the Claude Code now. Of course, like some limitations in terms of channels that are there, and we've talked about all that. So the recap would be published on both GenAI Unplugged as well as AI Maker. So feel free to like go through. I saw one of the questions being there that if somebody joins later, how can they watch the previous part of the episode? So you can watch in the recap that we'll be sharing. So I think we are on time. Window,
All
any
right.
last words?
Yes.
Otherwise, we can close.
Uh, yeah. Just go wild. Test some of these tools.
Build
But
something.
I would yeah. For me, it's just like just I would just recommend use Cloud Code and just learn that you don't need to use terminal. You can use the VS Code extension. I think it's way more powerful
Yeah. Or Cloud Code
compared
app.
to any other.
Or the
Yeah,
Claude
yeah.
app.
Or Cloud
Right.
Code.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So thank you everyone for joining in, and we'll see you in the
Thank you,
next
everyone.
episode next Wednesday, 10 a.m. EST. Bye
Yes,
bye.
yes. Wednesday, 10 a.m. EST. Thank you. Bye bye.